Hello everybody, here is my chickens' eggs, and I hadn't been to the garden in a couple days, and look at what happened to my squash. We had that storm in the northeast and my squash was thriving before the storm, and look at now. I don't know what happened, just pretty much killed it. Yeah, so not happy about that. But what's good is we still have the green beans going. We gotta focus on the good, right? It's like if you don't come to the garden in one day, you'll see a lot of changes. And that's quite interesting. For me, we do have cherry tomatoes, red cherry tomatoes. Look at this. I love to harvest the tomatoes. My daughter loves fresh tomatoes, so she gets a first dib at the tomato fruit. Look at how beautiful. Again, all organic, just pulled out of the vine and full of vitamins and minerals. Just lovely. More tomatoes right here. Yeah, a little late in the season. It's almost end of August. August 25th. More tomato, and apparently some pests got to it. To the tomato. We have still some green tomatoes here. How is your planting going? Your fall planting? How is your harvesting going? Keep it up, guys. Don't lose focus. It's super important that you do harvest the fruit of your labor. You know, you work so hard to get a garden going and for it to be fruitful and give you some food for your family. So make sure you harvest it. Don't just let it go to waste, right? And what I do with my green beans, I have frozen them, but unfortunately I'm running out of room in the freezer. So what I need to do is figure out how to can them. Never done the canning of green beans. We do not eat green beans every day or anything like that. But I do want them for the winter. You know, I do want to save them for the winter. And here is my purple green beans. Just love them. Aren't they adorable? Just love them. And look how good the green beans hold up my tomato. My tomatoes are not staked. My green beans trellis is holding up my tomatoes because the green bean vines wrap around it and hold it up. So trying to be efficient with time and resources and so on. Still flowers, tomato flowers. That means we'll get more tomatoes, which is such a love. I just love this. Don't you love nature? Just keeps providing such abundance. Guys, focus on being thankful. There is plenty for everybody. Do not believe in lack. There is abundance in nature. We just have to do the work. We do have to do the work to get a garden going. Because gardens provide. I just love watching the garden's bounty. And you know, when you get a failure, you cannot be disappointed. Here's my corn. I wonder if my corn is ready to be picked. So I'm gonna just open it up like this. Fortunately, I only have the one hand because I'm holding the camera with the other hand. It's not ready. And I just opened it up. So I don't know if pests will go after it now. Leave your comments if you think what I just did was silly, if it's gonna make my corn rot or not continue to grow. More green beans. No, only harvesting them with one hand. It's all good, you know, it's all good. We are all learning gardening. Nobody's perfect. Just focusing on loving and serving your garden. And you know what, guys, we know fall is coming. So, and these green beans were planted in May. So they've been producing for me for a while now. I'm so thankful for that. Red tomato. Oh my goodness, I have so many tomatoes. Oh, what a love. Just love the baby tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes, but they're pretty big, so I don't know. This is probably not considered a cherry tomato, but more tomatoes here. And unfortunately, the tomato plant is not looking her best right now. But I don't know. Flowers still coming. Green tomatoes. So I got to focus on what the positives are, right? It's my little harvest for now. Do you feel the sense of abundance when you harvest your food? And you know, given that it's a no-till garden, I can't really complain too much that I'm working so hard. I guess the beginning setup, you do have to put work in and, you know, put the mulch and plant everything. But after you plant it, you know, fertilize, and they pretty much grow. God does the rest. Nature provides, you guys. Remember that. We're put on this earth to be stewards. And you know, we're provided for. Look at this. Still blooming. Green beans. Tomatoes. Just go see a little further down how much green beans I can harvest here. And again, we had a pretty bad weather episode. You know, there was flooding in the area. The weather was not ideal. And this is a marigold plant. Still hasn't bloomed yet, but it's growing so tall. About 2 feet tall, but doesn't have any flowers as of yet. So I'm looking forward to getting the flowers going. They're so pretty and they smell so good, and I believe they keep the deer away. Even though we do have Premier 1 electrical fencing, which it's supposed to prevent the deer from coming through. And that's always great. Purple. Green beans. And this tomato, I don't know, lots of leaves are sort of dying. Maybe because the fall coming. But again, so far this has been my best garden in years. And I attribute it to the mulch put on the ground and the chicken poop that I provide as food for my plants. See, green beans. You know what I noticed, that with every part of the, I guess the weather changes, the same vegetables grow, right? So what you need to do is store them, because as the green beans run out, a new vegetable fruit, and you can eat that and store that. But in meanwhile, you don't want to waste the harvest that you were blessed with. Do not waste food. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an update. Again, it's this is my chicken kale. This is a couple days after the Hurricane Henry, so my garden withstood. I mean, look. Again, remember, we had a hurricane. We got flooding. But my tomatoes, my green beans, all good. Right? Due to the mulch. There's no flooding in my garden. So, just remember that, guys. And happy garden and God bless.